mana o tō tātou wharekura o māua o kari o mātina, mā te whakawaiwa I tēnei pō, mō tātou te whamatūna te ao, tō tātou matūna te rangi, mō tātou. Te aparangi kāpiki te rangi mati hei te ki whenu ki tātou ka hua kei wainoni, ka tahira ka whaimari I tātou tēnei pō. So, te aki ngā ngā aramatanga I te atua ki tō tātou ki ni atu hei te anu te wharekura hui I tunu I tonu. Me mātina nai o Māui I ana, te pane I te pawaru te rawa kore, kai mā kia mātau I tēnei pō ai. Nā te koronia, nā te koronia, nā
Birdie.
Kāti tēnā rata te katoa. E tūtau toka ke ana ngā mihi, ngā whakamuimiti. I tēnei pō, no reira, ka hui atu ki nui kia koe I kaere, te whanaunga. Nau ngā mihi ki te nungarawa. Ka whakamuimiti ki te nungarawa. E tau I mai ana mana ki tangi ki a tātou I tēnei wā. O rere mihi ana. O tira, e whai whakaaro ana ki tō tātou I kingi Māori tūheitia ko te tau te whenewhenu te tuawhiti. O ia tērā, hei pauherenga waka, hei pauherenga tangata. O tira, o ia hei tohu, hei whakakotahi a tātou ki iwi Māori I tēnei wā tonu. Ka mihi whārui ake, ki te wharekāwe aiki, ngā nui tonu, ire hau a pai mari I te rata. O tira ka titiro ki runga ki ngā whetū e piatata mai ana ka tangi ake te ngākau ki a rātou koriru atu. I raru I tērā o ngā whetū o kūrutawa I tēnei wā tonu. No reira I ngā mate huhu o te wā. I tēnei wā, e mate kei wainoni a tātou I te mua no tauranga. Ara, kei roto anō hoki I ahau, a ngāti hei ngā te. No reira ngā mate hoki, kei te tā wāhi, kei te mautiro matakana, I tērā praua. Kei roto I a mai tauiti, no reira haere atu kōrua. Pai atu kōrua I a rātou ko haere nui I a kōrua ki te nui. Kua hohe atu nui a kōrua. No reira haere a mui moira. Pai ho rātou ki a rātou I hunga wairua, a hoki mai ki a tātou a waiho tanga iho. Pana ke mai rā ngā mata o te ariki. Pana ke mai rā te tohu o te tauhau Māori. Pana ke mai rā a matariki huanui. Tihei mauni ora. No reira, koe nei te mihi kia koutou, te nui o te tangata, o ngā hunga kua tāmai, ki tēnei kura, ki te wharekura o mauao. I raro te haumarutanga o tēnei whare a mauao e tuakenu. No reira haere mai, piki mai, kate mai. Haere mai me ngā huatanga te ringi a koutou, o tira ki te kaupapa o te wā. No reira e mihi ana ki enei tokotoru, me te huarahi e whaia nei e rātou, kia tū o rātou ringa, hei māngai, hei pau, no te hapuri o te mono tauranga. No reira mihana te apura tau, mihana ki ngā kai whakahaere. O tira kia tātou e hui mai nei, tēnei mātou te wharekura o mai wā. Tauranga mōna, tauranga tangata, mia te rea koutou, tēnā koutou, a tēnā koutou katoa. Kei rau.
Ai. Tēnā korua, mō korua kupu rawa, kupu tūwhera ai te diruma nei. O tira, tēnā tātou, ka hui mai, ātinanga, ai, tēnā koutou. O tira, i mātakataki mai, i mātakataki ana, i tāu pukumato ki tēnā koutou anō. Whānau, we are incredibly privileged, and it is our pleasure to welcome you to echo the words of welcome here to the beautiful whare mauao, te wharekura o mauao, at this auspicious time as the stars of Matariki rise into the sky, bearing their importance for the new year as we reflect on what has been. I'm grateful for what is and think about what it is that this next year may bring us. And we welcome our three rangatira, our three candidates to the stage today, who each have a vision for what this next year will bring, and how their may, if they're successful, will make our futures bright. As we sit here, we reflect on the fact that there is only one thing standing in the way between our three rangatira, our three candidates here, and a seat on the Tauranga City Council, and that is your vote. Cue those graphics, Stacey and Wellington. At this time, I would like to extend our warm and Ballot thanks to Tangi Ririru and Mauao for making a way for us to be here in this beautiful wharekura country of Mauao. Tēnā kura, so to speak. Thank you for your support. We wish to acknowledge at the outset for our viewers that we're all at different places on our journey with Te Reo Māori in terms of exposure, in terms of confidence, fluency and understanding. We acknowledge that the integrity of Te Reo is crucial, it is a taonga, and it links us to stories and to knowledge which has a deep and valuable intergenerational significance. And so while we do not wish to make anyone uncomfortable or embarrassed this evening, we also acknowledge that we are striving for respect and integrity with our rule, and we will leave that to all of our audience and rangatira to manage. Tēnā koutou. At this time, I'd like to also shed a little more light, e te whānau, on the kaupapa of It's in the Ballot, which we are proud to bring you today. I'd like to acknowledge Sam Summers, who's the kai whakahaere, the chief of this operation, and his team, and our Wellington in-studio support in our Good Nations capital. We have the wonderful Stacey, who we can still applaud despite the absence. Ensuring our graphics are cute and our questions are timed just so. Just so you're aware, Te Whānau, this is a show run entirely on passion, on the smell of an oily rag, and on your donations as our loyal audience. We do not currently receive any funding from Elections New Zealand, local or central government. It's a project which is grassroots, and we're valuable. We appreciate your support. So it's in the ballot. Our mission, our kaupapa, is to drive engagement and make local body politics more interesting, so that we get more people engaged, hearing from our candidates, engaging with the kōrero, and a better result on election day. At this stage, it is my pleasure to hand over the rākau to our candidates for a short introduction and opening statement. And bear in mind, these will not be timed, but however, we do have a meeting to do it for you. So, I tēnei wā, kia koe, Ashley. Over to you, Ashley.
Tēnā koutou, everyone. I'm not overly good at speaking in public, I suppose, but that's a skill I'm looking to develop. Ko tonganero te maunga, ko taupo te mona, ko rangitike te awa, ko arawa te waka, ko tūwhare toa ahau, ko pīkahu waiwai ahau, no tauranga ahau, ko Tauranga toki tūranga waiwai. I'm a lifelong resident of Tauranga. I don't whakapapa here, like a lot of Māori here. I don't whakapapa here, but this is my tūranga waiwai. And in the time that I've lived here, I've seen this city grow and expand, and at times struggle to keep up with that growth. We're at a pivotal crossroads where it's important now more than ever to ensure that we're setting up a future for our rangatahi, a future and a city that is worth leaving to them, that is future-proof and able to be built on and beautified in the ways that they see fit. Kia ora.
What's your nation? Tauranga kia koe, te wai.
Kia ora, te mawhalawa hoki, ko mau te maunga, ko Tauranga te mona, ko Ngāti Ranginui, me Ngāti Samoa to iwi, very tēnei no konei. Kia ora everyone, my name is Swari Burrell, and I whakapapa to the area, and I am a homesteader in Whakamārama, so proudly standing in this space to represent and try to leverage the face and the value of Māori within the vision for Tauranga City. Really wonderful opportunity with the Māori Ward, and it's something that I'm passionate about. So yeah, do it come through.
Tēnā koutou. Yours is the time.
Ahoe a Te Awanui tapotu ki te hoa na mawai e tō māku e tō tēnā tātou katoa. Tēnā koutou katoa, ngā kai whakariki o tēnei o ngā kaupapa o tira ki ngā kaingataki o tēnei po tēnā koutou katoa. Ko Mikare City tōku ingoa he mokopuna tēnei, ko Tauranga moana o tira he mokopuna tēnei, ko tipu mai ai ngā ia taihiki o Te Awanui. Kia ora everyone, my name is Mikare. I'm born and raised in Tauranga moana. I whakapapa here. I grew up in the centre of the universe, Te Mautiri o Matakana me Te Mautiri o Rangiwai, overseas at Matakana and Rangiwai. I born and raised in Tauranga moana. I went to Kura here in Tauranga Mauao. I was one of the very first graduates of this Kura, so it's good to be back. Kua whainga mo tēnei o ngā kaupapa kei tua. Obviously our whaiao as well, our whaiao, our culture, our ahuria, and thirdly, mo te anamata, mo te apoko. Everything that I do and every decision that I make is going to be for tomorrow, for our babies. And mostly as well, I said I'd keep what I one more two. I'll fight and scrap for this seat, and I'll make sure that our people get out there and vote. O tērā te kaupapa matua tēnei kia haere atu a mātou whānau ki te tōki. Nō reira, atu i tērā, huri mai tō tātou whare tēnā koutou katoa. Kia ora.
Kia ora Mikare. Ours truly is a universe of many senses, and it is great to know from which of those that all our amatera here originate. I tēnei wā, I'll introduce myself, if it feels right. Ko au e noho ake hiu mai sitting here in front of you. I te taho o tōku mama, on my mum's side. I whānau mai ia kei te Ngāti Tāngua o Fiji. She was born over in the beautiful islands of Fiji. Ka haere ia ki Te Puki, I tipu aki e tērā. She moved back home from Te Puki and grew up there. And a question I often ask myself is, why? No, Te Puki is beautiful with te whānau, I'm only joking. Beautiful au out there, rapara pāhoi. Excuse me as I duck things thrown by Tapwika and our Te Puki whānau. On my, e te tango tōku pāpa on my father's side, I whānau mai ia ki Mangakino, I tipu aki ia ki Tūrangi. So the old man was born in Mighty Mangakino and grew up in King Country in Tūrangi. And I whānau mai ahau, he kone, here in Tauranga Moana I was born and blessed to have been born and raised here. That's enough about me, but I'm on the now alongside our rangatira of the night. Our first section of the show, Te Wanga Tuatahi, is our, with the assistance of our lovely question host. Round of applause, please. Could you briefly introduce yourself, please? Good morning.
My name is Emma. I'm year 12 and
Tēnā, thank you for your help tonight. So this section is our questions. Yeah, what? Yep. Never mind these eyebrows. I won't have to put me off again. Our first section gives the community the chance to submit questions for our rangatira to answer. So one at a time. We've started with first Amasi. We'll start with you, Nakaide. If we can move down, select a number between 1 and 28, and our friend Emma will open the box, announce the letter of the question, which will let Stacey and Wellington cue the right graphic on our screen, and then read out the partai for our rangatira. Hi.
Number 7.
Oh, sorry, Emma. Our boxes are in order from in rows. Yes. Question number 7. Letter P.
Press P on the stream deck.
Shortly, Tauranga City Councils will be asked to approve a proposal for the installation of rainbow street art in the CBD. The aim of the project is to celebrate our rainbow community, acknowledge our widest diversity, and improve the vibrancy of our CBD. Would you vote in favour of the proposal? And if not, why not?
Firstly, I'm just going to say absolutely. There's been some amazing projects here at Tauranga Moana, and I'm going to start off right now. Just in the last couple of years, Te Runanga or Waitangi Trust, and it was pioneered by my cousin, Whakamarurangi Samuels. He pioneered Te Uhu Wharekura, the LGBTQ unit that supports our tangata whakapāpui, mana whakapāpui. Ahakoa, and as Māori mai roto i te moana, whakarongo mai, they are always still our family, still our whānau. We are all together. If this, mena e mahi paena mo te tangata, I'm all for it. And if anyone has an issue too, well, you're messing with my cousins and my whānau too. Ahakoa, even though we are not related, we could be related, we're friends. I have a lot of dear friends too, and they works in the space that is a pioneer for this space. My sister Raihana, she's amazing. She's a pioneer for us, and no one else has done this. ASOS, so, kia mohi o mai tātou, I'm so excited for this. I'm going to be right.
Tēnā Kaide, you're the passion of your words. It's a fire.
Correct, absolutely. So I've been married 1 year.
This part of the format is
Not even decorations?
Oh,
what?
Your box number for
Can I have this question too?
another mysterious.
You can use your buzzer card if you want.
I like even numbers. I really like even numbers. I'm
Well,
good.
just verifying a process piece. You can use your button card if you wish to add your
Here we go.
Okay.
I would like to have the button card. Absolutely, I would support this proposal. I have been with my wife for 16 years, only married for one. Absolutely, my beautiful wife, looking for a husband, absolutely. So the role of a council is to provide services for its community, and that's community for all, so not just a particular segment of that community. So I'm butting in on this question because it is absolutely voting in favour of this proposal. That's what I have to say about that. Thank you.
Tēnā te whai, acknowledge to your beautiful wife. And third candidate will use his button card as well.
I just wanted to use my button card as well to also show support for this, because when I sit here, I don't see necessarily just the LGBTQ community as well. Like, I see something that we all looked at as young people as well, and like I see wharekura and wharekura, and I just, these are things that are spiritual to us as Māori and Te Māori, and a small sign of solidarity can mean so much to communities that have been traditionally oppressed. So if this is a small thing we can do to make people feel at home here in Tauranga Moana, then that's so much, What's a bit of street art on the road to make people feel at home here?
Empowering words from our candidate Titi Whānau, and a strong sense of unity as well, and support for our Rainbow Takatapu whānau. Tēnā koutou. Please, Titi Whānau, pick number box.
Number 26, please.
26 to come 6.
The majority of Māori in Tauranga don't have whakapapa here. How are you going to advocate for their needs and aspirations among those of mana whenua?
So my campaign is leveraged, is anchored around 3 principles: learn, lead, and leverage. So I first learn about how those current mechanisms for engaging non-mana whenua people are, and then I would lead those opportunities to engage. I'm big on closing feedback loops. My profession is as a consultant. The easiest way to describe my job is I get paid to talk to people and then write up their stories. So I would be looking to close those feedback loops, so those voices will be taken directly to the table, and they would be seen as complementary to the mana whenua voice or the tangata whenua voice, because in the spirit of humanity and building good societies, one voice never invalidates another. And I'd be making sure that the staff and the contractors of the Tauranga City Council would be leading that out within our communities.
Perfectly timed. About your kōrero, how one kōrero does not invalidate the other. Tēnā koe. Tēnei wā, ka tiu te rā te kōrero kia koe. Over to you, Ashley.
I'm going to go for number 4.
Number 4, through the door.
I was so good at bringing it up.
Auckland Council has recently shifted to taking away recycling bins of people who mix in general waste with their recycling. Should Tauranga consider doing the same thing?
Absolutely. There are some fine gentlemen and women across the board that don't deserve to sift through our potty rubbish to figure out what's rubbish and what's recycling. We need to take care of our whenua, our taiho, and that includes doing our bit of recycling.
Keep it green, as they say.
Yeah.
Another question, please, Nicole.
13, please.
13, lucky the sun.
G.
Question G, thank you.
Are you prepared to support unpopular but necessary levels of rate increases in order to ensure financial viability of the council instead of voting for lower rate increases in the interest of your own re-election prospects at the expense of future council being able to fund infrastructure, maintenance and upgrades?
Well, I'm saying that every decision that I'm going to make, obviously, like I said, it's all for our babies too. But as a Māori Ward councillor, I'm always going to ask, how is this good for my people? How does this benefit our people? Otherwise, this is a waste of my voice and this is a waste of a seat. However, as well, I'm prepared to be that unpopular person. I wear an iwi and a hapu hat as well, and I make a lot of unpopular decisions on behalf of my iwi and my hapu. And if it means I have a short term here, well, so be it, but it's for the betterment of our people, and I make sure that our city gets back on track.
Kelly's our number one.
Number one, continue.
D.
D.
The most vibrant and successful cities on earth have grown societally and economically in part through abandoning concepts of homogeneous societies and embracing the diversity of our population. Aotearoa, New Zealand has a population represented by over 1,500 ethnicities, cultures and social identities. How will you grow Tauranga Moana through actively celebrating all peoples who call our city home?
This is a great question to echo and weave into what I said in the position that I held on the Rainbow Community art piece. So again, I think it's about understanding the role of representative democracy in our city. We must celebrate all people, and that can be done in a complementary fashion rather than a combative fashion, so we can bring together people. Populations grow, they wax and wane with movements of the development and of numerous communities. Indigenous communities are only made richer through this, so I do not see this as a threat to mana whenua, to Māori in general, and that would be my official call on how we would make sure that we celebrate others. So learning again what's important to those people, leaving opportunities for them to celebrate those, and again leveraging the wonder of celebrating of all people.
Another number?
Oh. Go for number 8.
Number 8.
Number 8.
Oh, I like
Jump in.
I like that.
Jump in, it's fine.
Number 8.
Let's just do
Do you wish to promote or delay public transport measures for Tauranga?
Well, I think the responsible answer to this is we need to promote multimodal transport as much as possible. However, I would note that as things become more accessible and realistic regarding reducing our travel by car, people are organically engaging in alternative modes of transport. If you have a public transport system and infrastructure that's fit for purpose and logical urban planning to reinforce it, then you immediately incentivise using it. As our satellite hubs like the lakes, like Papamoa, grow, these have been quite successful in that regard because people need to travel less for the things that they need. Inversely, this will translate more as more workplaces become available closer to where we live. I would also advocate for better roading infrastructure, as this is vital to ensuring the aforementioned is viable. We must put buses somewhere, we need to put bikes somewhere, we need to put scooters somewhere. It's undeniable too that car travel in Tauranga is essential and infrastructure must be supported. People in Tauranga don't forget about driving.
Thank you for that, Ashley. That's all right. And back to you, Mauao, please.
Let's go number 27.
I was going to say straight to you.
27, straight to you.
Now.
Question A. Thank you, Emma.
What political party are you linked to?
Oh, God.
at the moment in this election?
At the moment.
At the moment, this is, not, for this, with my hat on for TCC, I'm not linked to anyone at the moment. However, I'm linked to a movement. I'm linked to a movement called Tauranga Moana Pōkiritia. Tauranga Moana Pōkiritia is something that all of us win together. We're all about mobilising our people. We're all about bringing our tangata whima, tangata Māori no mai no Tauranga Moana, ki tēnei o ngā tūranga, ki tēnei kaupapa nui. Because we're all about our representation around Tauranga Moana. We live here, we're brought up here, we're spiritually connected to this place. Ko mātou Tauranga Moana, ko Tauranga Moana, ko tātou. Tēnei rā tātou e whakatanoni ana i a Tauranga Moana, ki tēnei ki tēnei o ngā kaupapa. So no, not so much related to a political party for this kaupapa, but however, I'm related to a movement, and that is tangata whima, Tauranga Moana Pōkiritia.
Thank you for that. Kia koe te wā te whare.
Number 10.
Question R.
Number 10 is question R. Thank you, Emma.
If you are elected as a councillor, will you declare or decelerate council spending on unwanted grand projects and concentrate on vital necessary infrastructure needs such as roading?
I would like the opportunity to understand the difference between what is considered a grand project from the perspective of communities and then balance that off with the infrastructure spend. So infrastructure spending is what a council does. It's their job. They're there to spend that money that they get through the levy that they get from central government and from our rates. So that would be my official answer. I would take a middle moderate ground on that and understanding what are the needs. So the grand projects are potentially sites of pain for a council, but it's not until we understand and learn what those issues are that we can then make the decision. On balance, good, bad, and evidence in either direction to make that decision is what a responsible councillor would do. But
And on that number 10, over to you, Ashley.
I'll take number 5, please.
Number 5, let's look alive.
Yeah, you're on fire, Brody. You're on fire.
I do bingo against 2 it's fun.
yeah.
Kia ora, Emma.
You for uniform.
If you are elected into council, will you support the Tauranga Commissioner's strategy, direction and long-term plan? Yes or no?
Sorry everyone for the loud noise, but that is the 500 or nearly 500 pages of the long-term plan. This is a particularly vague question. I would say I think the commissioners did some things right and several things wrong. The LTP is a substantial document, some nearly 500 pages long, like I just mentioned. This took a massive amount of council resources to produce, and I think it would be irresponsible to discard it. In the first 6 months of council's tenure, they will write an annual plan based on projects available in the LTP. And after 3 years, the council will prepare a new LTP with their own contributions and considerations based on the community consultation. The incoming council can prioritise important infrastructure from the LTP, but let's hope they make responsible financial decisions. They can also, it's worth adding to, they can also make alterations to the LTP where necessary upon further consultation. Thank you.
Thank you, Ashley. I think I need a long-term reading plan just to get through that first time.
Yeah.
Over to you for another question, please. Invite we're out the gate, we're not being late. Bring them back. Question W.
How will you restore confidence with the ratepayers in this city?
How will I restore confidence of the ratepayers in the city? Well, just like I'm across all iwi, hapu and hapuri spaces too, I'm also across Tauranga really as a whole in a lot of community spaces, especially in Te Papa as well. A lot of it is feeding back to our people, being responsible, being accountable, and making sure that they're updated every step of the way. I can say that with bated breath too, but that is just something that's one of my strengths, is getting out there to inform our people and making sure that our people, especially our ratepayers, because our rates are pretty high at the moment, are not left in the dark too. I want to make sure that everyone here, everyone in Tauranga comes with me, walks with me, as my mission is to not leave anyone behind. Ahakoa owai, ahakoa nohea, ahakoa whatever kaupapa that you represent, you will not get left behind. Tēnā koutou.
Nani mo tēnā koutou. Kia koe tua.
Number 22, please. You're doing a great job, Eva. Wonderful.
22, that will do. And total for that. Thank
Question
you.
L.
Question.
What is your strategic vision for Tauranga City? What will the city look like in 10 to 15 years' time?
Tauranga remains a key economic hub for the country overall. I would like Tauranga to celebrate its other strengths in terms of diversity, in terms of leadership. So currently the collision that they were in was from a lack of comradeship or whatever that word is, or collegialness to lead the city. So I actually think my strategic vision for Tauranga City is built on achieving social cohesion across the decision makers, some leveraging, leveraging councillors who know their job and are able to bring the people into that decision making table. It is the largest battle that Tauranga faces. What I'm really happy about is I can stand beside my colleagues tonight and say that Te Awanui Ward candidate, whoever they are, is going to make a wonderful contribution to that table just by their design. I can say that wholeheartedly, and that's part of my strategic vision for the city. It'll be pretty too if I'm in it.
That would be good story. I hear your words of collegiality and you feel it too from now into your career. Over to you, Ashley, for another question.
Oh, let's go 15.
Wasn't bad being 15.
Wasn't bad at all. 15, pretty keen.
Question B.
That's probably also true.
Aotearoa, New Zealand has a population represented by 1,500 ethnicities, cultures, and social identities. Studies have shown that diverse and inclusive societies both increase well-being and economic growth. How would you actively improve Tauranga Moana's sense and celebration of its diverse society?
Well, I think Tauranga hasn't been very good at accepting its own history and of even things of proliferations of Te Awanui when we have our mahi tori and stuff around the city and our whakairo and our different poa that are around the city. I think that's hardly even accepted as it is. So a great start towards that would be establishing a more inclusive and accepting society in that regard. Possibly by fostering a bit more emotional investment, getting the rest of society, I guess, here in Tauranga that's not usually good at participating in Te Ao Māori or in our tikanga and our kaua, helping them understand a bit better so they feel a bit more emotionally invested. It's also about encouraging and supporting community groups from ethnicities and cultures and groups outside of the norm here in Tauranga to share elements of their culture with the wider community and ensuring that they feel empowered and confident to do so.
As we're speaking, share this time together, we are of course on the eve of the commemoration of the Battle of Te Rana taking place tomorrow. So, I give that appreciation for the slaughter at Te Rana indeed. And if you're interested in learning more about Te Whānau, you can navigate to the Facebook page of Te Runanga o Ngāti Ranginui Iwi, and there you'll find the whānau notice that will enlighten you as to what will take place tomorrow. But Back to the here and now. Kia koe te wā, Makaere. Over to you, Makaere. We're getting through them now. In those capable hands.
H.
Letter H.
Do you support the proposed CBD stadium?
Short answer, sorry, Carl. There are so many more things that I want to see established here at Tauranga. And we've got some that are already established at the moment. And I know there are big projects already that are currently circulating when it comes to sports. Our Tauranga Netball Centre is currently moving in the next year and a half to Blake Park to complement the arena as well. And that's already in motion. As a director of the Netball Centre, we're currently working with council now on how that's going to look. With another CBD stadium too, I'm just hoping that our Netball Centre won't be put on the back foot as well, because netball is one of the fastest growing female sports here in Tauranga, and it's fastly growing as a male sport too. And as with my netball hat on and my community hat on, I don't know.
Well, thank you for that, Makaere. Yes, I can attest to the popularity and the challenge of netball, having joined our work squad. Not quite. Haven't had the pleasure of facing off against you, Makaere, and I think I would be rather fond of that. Over to you, another number, please. Select us a box.
My favourite number, Michael Jordan, box number 23. I'd just like to echo Makaere's, it's a no please for the stadium. No please.
AB.
AB, thank you.
What are your plans for implementing sustainable?
Again, through the wisdom of my professional experience, I would refer to others who have the knowledge and the skills on that. So my plans for implementing the sustainable practices would be to look at what the leadership is in that space, and then ensuring that the leadership is able to bring that knowledge, that Tauranga, and make it relatable to our community, not a particular community, but what I want to do is ensure that there's a shared and again cohesive picture of what it means to be participating in these sustainable practices, green initiatives. And again, everyone is at a different starting point for how you would adopt a process like this. So for me in the country, I would be appalled if I was given a bucket to put my scraps in, because I just throw it out on the paddock. And that's where it sits, and then something else eats it on the farm, and then we're all tickety boom. So we have to make way for understanding that people live in different contexts and different ways, but we need to make it relatable and relevant to them.
Cool, perfect timing too. But then, Ashley, your next question, please.
I'm going to see what I can see first. Is that a 24 at the front there? God, do these things even work?
I'll come with them in there. That's all right. I can get up to line 5 on the eye chart and I still can't see it. It's scribbled.
24, there's still a few more.
Is it okay?
That's okay. Thank you.
In regards to the planned zone 3 change for residential density around the city, where do you stand on the changes?
This one's a pretty easy one for me, because I think that intensification is a great tool to be able to combat the housing crisis and combat urban sprawl. However, it needs to be sensible and responsible. There's no point building big high-rise buildings anywhere and everywhere willy-nilly in the building where they're going to have no benefit to low and middle income workers. That's my primary concern, is low and middle income workers, because we've got plenty of them here in Tauranga, and I'm one of them struggling to get my own money, struggling to get my own house with the way that things are going as it is. So more options equals better chances, because once you get a foot on the ladder, the options from there are pretty open. Urban intensification or plan change 33 regarding the mount is a big no for me. I don't know if that's also another question, but plan change 33 for the mount is a big no for me, because we're already pushing the water table up, and we need to explore other options in the mount, like getting rid of the industry by corridor mauao.
Thank you for that, all for clearing the air.
Yep.
Over to you for another question about
Ngā tika tau. Ka tau ki te sika nō tau.
Would it be?
Let's be.
If you are elected as councillor, will you decelerate council spending on unwanted grand projects and concentrate on vital necessary infrastructure needs such as roading?
Yes, definitely we'll focus on vital necessary infrastructure needs such as roading. And I'm going to come with my kura hat too, and my coaching hat too, and I'm going to wear those and I'm going to answer this part. Like our kids always delay getting to kura, and we need to upgrade our roads because our kids are on buses and our kids either late getting to kura as well, and our whānau are always caught in traffic getting to mahi. And because of the vast growth in Tauranga Moana, and we all know that, our city is fastly growing too. Hika, I've been out to Omapuro, I've been out to Taupawest, and I've always been in mahi. And it's just the vast growth, the roads cannot keep up with the amount of growth, so we definitely need to upgrade our roads. So our kids get to kura, we all get to mahi, and that we can catch up with the growth in vastly Tauranga Moana. Kia ora.
Kia ora, mō tēnā. Moving right along. Crossway.
Number 20.
Number 20. 20 never empty.
Sounds good.
You.
Kia ora.
Tauranga has a housing crisis with local and national entities wanting to unlock Māori land for development. How will you support Māori landowners who want to do this?
So last week I attended the Arono Housing Conference in Tauranga at the Cargo Shed, and I learned the current tensions and harmonies within the housing development concept for and directly about Māori land. And it was insightful, and what I learned from that and what I know from the literature and research around housing crises, which we're all in New Zealand, it would be about, again, having agencies and support mechanisms for Māori landowners to understand what the options are. One of the things I did say at the conference is I wasn't into entertaining understanding what the challenges were. The challenges are the same that they've been for the last 50 years for Māori land owners, and so I've really looked to powering up those agencies and those support mechanisms that are working around Māori landowners to guide and steward the way that they would engage the development of their land. I have intergenerational, won the birthplace lottery. I've lived at my place for 130 years. I ain't leaving. I don't expect my years to either.
Kia ora, you're from the heartlands of Te Whakamawa, ngā tēnā. Over to you, Hoa Ashley. We're getting down to the now. What's your...
I think I said 23. I'll just take whatever's at the front to your selection. I'll go for it. Take what I'm given at this point.
Aye.
Yes or no? Do you support the establishment of Māori wards? Do you support the Treaty of Waitangi? Why?
Clearly a cool question. Let's hear your answer the way you want.
What an excellent question. I absolutely support the establishment of Māori wards. I believe that it's an extra vehicle for considerations for mana whenua, because as long as you've got a seat with tangata whenua, there's going to be considerations for mana whenua. Because the earlier question I asked too about how would one represent mana whenua if the interests, of tangata whenua and mana whenua, will they align? It's a Te Awanui Māori perspective. We align in that regard. In regards to the tiriti, ko te tiriti e te reo Māori te whakaputanga pono. I think we all know the difference between kawaratanga and te reo tiritanga. That's all I would say about that.
And those that are going to come to explain your lesson cards. I think I saw yours.
So I put my voting card for this one, and we're absolutely whaka-ai, and I just want to echo the sisters. She gave the best response to this question on Saturday night. It was yes, and why, and I'm like, damn straight up, I support the establishment of Māori Wars. I support it from a place of understanding and acknowledge that it is one mechanism for building Māori civic consciousness around the importance of participating in local and central elections. So I don't see it as the only action that we can do to lift Māori participation in these tables, but I absolutely support the Treaty of Waitangi in the context of decision making across and within a city's action. So again, you have to understand what the role of a council table does and that it makes decisions. So it comes across a set of problems, or it comes across a set of priorities, and then it has to make a deliberate and direct decision about where it faces its energy. And I would absolutely, in the role of Te Awanui, make sure that Māori were partnered with that vision for the city. Kia ora.
Well, tautoko marikana tēnei o ngā pātai, tauranga moana, me namatahi tātou ngā wā katoa. And I care tāna, he rau takina, ka namatahi ai tātou. This is the strategy here, our tangata whenua of tauranga moana can be namatahi on this table. Kua roa te wā tātou, noho tuarua I roto I tō tātou wake moana, kua hōhā nei tātou. Now, o tai te wā. O tai te wā kia whiwhi atu ngā tangata whenua o ponei o tauranga moana, he reo karanga, he reo tohe. He reo tā, he reo, whakaputa atu ngā kōrero o te kāinga kia tātou katoa te kaunihira. So, as tangata whenua, and I've had feedback from our kaumātua, ko kōrero nei kia kururu I ako pono hiki, ko hōhā nei tātou. It's about time that we have a voice here. And on behalf of our hapu that I've consulted and my kaumātua, we are all for this. And with my kaumātua hapu and iwi behind me, we're going to be scrapping for the remaining of the seat. Mō ake tonu atu, e whawhai tonu tātou. Kia ora.
Kia ora.
If we didn't have to fund them ourselves, I would say let's make this a mic drop moment. Moving right along to our next question box selection, please. Back again, number two. Number two, that'll do. Q.
What qualifications do you hold that would qualify you for councillor, and what skills have you got that ensure you will perform well as a councillor?
Qualifications, well, my qualifications unfortunately are in Te Reo Māori. However, from a very young age, I've been at the foot of my whānau, the Whaiwhapu Trust of Te Mauteri o Matakana me Rangiwai. I've experienced the roots in regards to the betterment of our people and fighting for our whenua and making sure that every decision we make benefits our people and will mobilise and is for the betterment of our whānau. However, as well, what skills do I have in regards to governance? Like I said, I'm a director on the Tauranga Netball Centre as well. I'm also the co-chair of Te Pāti Māori Tauranga Moana. However, I'll leave that outside. There is another head for another day. But however, as well, what skills that I hope to ensure that I will perform well? Well, I have the confidence in our hapu and our iwi that have pushed me into this role. When I first asked my kaumātua, is this right for me? Well, they said, well, if you start pulling out, we're going to put your name back in and you make sure you stay. You're not a mokopuna for nothing, or you're right behind you.
Thank you, another question, please. Oh, sorry. We're getting down to him now.
Box number 12. Please.
12.
AA. What will you do to help tackle substance abuse and support those affected in our community?
In my day job as a research and evaluation consultant, I work in this space specifically and am tasked with collecting the voice of people who use services like this and then compiling a report about what the outcomes or the impact of those services have been. So I intend to help where I can, and again, leaning on my campaign principles of learning, leading and leveraging, we would need to understand what those support systems are. There are agencies and organisations in Tauranga who are working their guts out to support people who need this help in our community, and I would be 100% beside learning what they need and then how we could support those. It's also really important in this space where you are helping those who are often disaffiliated from societies in their own communities, even in their whānau, that we take a really broad, open understanding of how you do support them and leave trying to come up with the solutions yourself. So really being client-led and whānau-led with that solution.
Tēnā koe whaia. Ashley, you pledge your button.
Last part. I'm going to have to try to get through this one without crying, because this is one that's a little bit close to my own self. I've been to a lot of these in the ballot so far, and I've heard many prospective candidates say that this isn't within the capacity of their role as a councillor. I strongly suspect none of them have ever been or been close to someone in the grips of addiction. But I think in Te Awanui we share a thoroughly different view. I know in my whare growing up that if anyone on our street or the one connected to it needed anything, they could ask any time. We just looked out for each other like that. Having come from the depths of substance abuse and crime myself, I know the true value of whanaungatanga and the saving power of Ottawa. I think the council should do their best within reasonable provisions to support all the amazing kaupapa that are going on within the community outreach space. We help them by surrounding them with love, not by giving up on them.
Tēnā koe te rangatira, appreciate your strength, your vulnerability, and I echo that and extend our thoughts and our hearts to all those in the grips of addiction. And there are services out there waiting, like our rangatira has said, with aroha, with non-judgmental care, ready to walk with you on that journey.
I help people, it's our problem. You know?
Kia ora, we can take a sense of ownership, and I hear that in your words, your Lord. Tēnei wā, ka whitera ka kōrero kia koe makaere. Over to you for another question, another box.
Trying to be cool, trying to pick up the box. I feel like I can't say 25 and then 45. The cousin that just drives away with the cousin's
Jay. Given the well-established evidence globally and within New Zealand that congestion is increased when more and bigger roads are built, and also that congestion is bad for the economy, including wages, and what policies would you support to improve mobility of residents around Tauranga City?
policies, I suppose, are looking to better supporting our tangata whaiora. So everything is all inclusive, so they can get to places where obviously whānau that are still able to hikoe are able to get to. Obviously as well, like I said before, I'd be keen to add a staunch advocate for making sure our roads are improved and our roads are built and completed, so our kids can get to kura and we can all get to mahi. As well, obviously congestion is bad for the community, it's bad for the economy, getting to mahi late, that's time on the clock late, so I'm all for this and I'm all about improving the mobility of residents around Tauranga City, but I'm also passionate about making sure that we're all inclusive and everyone gets to where they need to be on time.
Thank you. Timeliness, yes, a personal work on for me, and I probably blame the traffic more often than it's really the case. But hey, no strangers there. Now over to you, please, pass on. Another number for us.
Box number 14, I have a penchant for even numbers. The homestead at Ross Road, the Burrell homestead at Ross Road is 36 Ross Road, just we've been there for 130 years, we don't intend to move. Yeah. Even numbers.
Letter S.
Letter what? S. I don't even know what she does, what she means when she says it, but letter S. She's talking to you.
Letter S, go ahead.
S for Suwari.
Given the overwhelmingly empirical evidence showing that sprawl across the public purse way more than intensive urban development. For example, OECD shows it triples the cost of public services. Will you agree to contain the city boundaries as they are encouraging the city to go up instead of back?
My understanding of this question, given that you can run a report from anything, you can roll out any fact and figure and somehow it turns out being wonderful. My understanding of this question is, do I agree to go up? I absolutely agree to go up where there are provisions for going up. So in Whakamarama, where I live, where I whakapapa to, I don't need to go up because I've got farmland either side of me. So I believe in taking a deliberate but informed approach to how we develop the city. That should be left to people around the smart growth strategy. That should be left to urban task force. That should be left to the people who know what that ish is about. And again, calling on the role of what a councillor does and how they do that, it's really important to understand. It's not my job to get into the minutiae or the details of how the city's decisions are made. So I don't affect operations. My job, alongside the other 9 homies, is to steward good decision making for the city. Bye-bye.
Thank you for that, Roswell. Another number, please.
I've got to get up and look this one. Box number 6, because it's the closest. You think someone
Yeah, we're going to upgrade it. I think
Number
all my
6,
classes, so we will tweak one.
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Yes.
X for X-ray.
Number
I
8.
was going to say, any optometrists in the house might have any hearing specialists too for myself.
Do you support funding the Civic Centre by the way of ratepayers' levies and sales of assets?
No, I absolutely do not, because there are a few council assets that are really worth selling. I think we should fund Te Manawataki o Te Papa in stages, as we can afford to, or look into leveraging central government funding through the Regional Infrastructure Fund, the Vision Mā Tauranga Fund, or public-private partnership.
Natalia, over to you.
In recent years, violence directed towards Aotearoa, in this case Tauranga Moana's LGBTQI community, has increased, most notably with the destruction of our community's Rainbow Youth Facility in an attack. How will you create a Tauranga Moana that actively promotes an appreciation for our diverse communities?
Tauranga. The word tauranga, safe, anchorage. Ka whakatairanga, ka whakarangatira I tērā ingoa nā o tātou mātua tupuna. When our tupuna came over here on our canoes, this was a safe anchorage for our people, and it was a safe nesting space for Maitirangi, for Mātirangi Nui, Ngāti Tukenga, and Waipaka Tapu Kākai. Firstly, I'll appeal this back to, this is a place that is safe for all. Ahakoa kōwai, ahakoa nohia, no matter who you are, no matter where you are from. My mission is to create a tauranga that is a lot more safer, inclusive for all of us here. So everywhere we go, whenever we leave Tauranga, the waters of Tauranga Moana, we go out to promote that we're from Tauranga, just like me and Auntie are unapologetic pirirako. We go out there and we tell everyone, yes, we are from Tauranga, and yes, we are from the Gold Coast of New Zealand. Our home is beautiful. Our home is safe. Tauranga Moana, safe anchorage, and that is the announcement that I want to put out. This is going to be a safe place. Ahakoa Hawaii, ahakoa nohi.
Ngamihi Pai, so much in the name of God. Sorry, we've got 4 to go.
Box number 18, please.
T. What do you see as the main difference between Māori landowners and hapu in terms of their relationship with TCC?
Oh, again, whānau, you need to understand who I am and what makes me up. I'm from the hapu of Pirirako. The rako that they were clinging to, the trees that they were clinging to are in Whakamarama. So I'm unapologetically paying more than, actually I'm not a landowner, I believe that the land owns me, and I have done by holding place. The difference between Māori landowners and hapu in terms of others to their relationship with TCC is we have an immutable and sustained, a long sustained history in belonging to the land. So when you're talking about development, we take it in a very different understanding. We have a very different experience with it. So, but again, I give props to my tupuna Wharekura Burrell. He's definitely a developer, but he's not a developer like, say, the other people are who put these massive big infrastructures. But he provided a house for us that we still live in today. It is one of the oldest artifacts of the hapu of Kiriako, and I live in it. I left it tonight to come here. So the difference between it is one is immutable, the other gets elected and voted out. Kapai.
Ashley. You're totally remaining.
I see three, I'm going to go for three. It's only because it's closer to you, buddy.
Number 3, Diddly Dee. How much tonight?
E.
E?
International studies have shown that an active appreciation of society's diversity boosts both positive well-being and economic growth. Some might argue Tauranga City in the past overtly represented a specific demographic. How would you ensure Tauranga City Council actively reflects our whole society?
In this scenario, for this election, I actually have to give a big mihi to Tauranga Moana Kōkiritea because I haven't had to do it. They've been instrumental in ensuring that there is a Māori candidate in every ward, which I personally think is amazing. Gives us a lot more chance at being able to leverage in a system that was not made by us. I think it would be further amazing to see a number of them become elected representatives in their respective wards. I think traditionally Tauranga has been very conservative in regards to people of different cultures. Take that as you will. I think the candidates themselves have turned out to create a diverse portfolio of prospective councillors. It's up to the voters now, across the wards, to ensure that our elected members are reflective of us as a community and of our interests. It's important to note that when we are gone, what we leave behind is inherited by our children and their children and their children and so on. It's essential that we've got a strong framework to leave behind.
Okay, thank you for that. Anyway, I'll just let you know, if you want to sit down, you're welcome to, you're more than welcome to. And at this stage, no comment, that's right.
Because I'm running out of questions to Button as well. How would I ensure Tauranga City Council actively reflects our whole society as well? Well, just like I suppose myself and Murray, we work in the tourism scene over the summer when we do the cruise ships. How we pōhiri our visitors here to Tauranga Moana. Nau mai, haere mai ki tō tātou moana o Tauranga, and Murray did it very well on the microphones on the bus. How actively reflects our whole society as well. I'm hoping to put to be entrenched in amongst all our cultures around Tauranga Moana. We have our Pacific entity, our Pro-Bevan heads as well. I'm also He Toto Kukiarani tēnei, I'm proud Cook Islander as well, there's Cook Island blood as well, and I'm proud of our culture, Māori and Cook Island. But however, one thing that I'd like to do as well, when I go to Auckland, I run away to Auckland for the weekends to watch the Polyfest. We need that here in Tauranga Moana. We have so many cultures, especially our Pacific Island cultures. Fusing that with our Māori too is just only going to strengthen our culture in Tauranga Moana. That's strengthened by our cultural and
Ida, who is it in the Great Blue Pacific? And another selection from you, please.
Number 11.
Number 11, leads 11. Roll time, sir. Alita, please.
Z.
Z.
How will you support mental health services for youth in our area?
How will I support mental health services in our area? That's been my bread and butter for the last 4 to 6 years. I'm currently working at Tātaiora Charitable Trust over in Parataki, and what I want to keep on the ground and in our community about mental health, the decline of mental health in our communities, and how do we help how do we help our whānau? They're needing extra hands as well. But I suppose for myself, if I'm ever to be elected too, one thing for me is I don't want to be sitting on a podium looking down at our people. I want to be walking with our people. I want to be working with our people. Tamariki, Pakeke, Kaumata, Te Katoa, Iwi, Hapu, Hapori, tribes, sub-tribes, communities. I want to be walking with our people, and I want them to feel that they can trust me in order for me to support them as well. Mental health is a huge downer for us is in Aotearoa at this time. And as someone that is, that's my profession at the moment, e mama nei te ngākau kia rākau. Engari kia koutou e mātaki nei, that need a little bit more tautoko, kia taha, kia mai, kia manawa nei.
We're down to the last box. What's our number?
Number 17.
17.
Number H. In for Nelly. Kapwa.
Do you support the revitalisation of our city centre?
Absolutely support the revitalisation of our city centre, but not in where it impacts other ideas and other opportunities for council investment. So it's very important. Cities grow, people need their city. And again, I would defer to the urban task force, to the smart growth, to the planners, because I'm not a town planner. I don't have the knowledge and I don't understand what that actually looks like on paper. The investment, so my personal approach on this is growth funds growth, and by that I mean that the investment of people who are willing to put into the revitalisation of the city. So looking at Ashley's corridor around looking for multiple ways to fund that investment in the revitalisation is the broader pathway for the council to pursue. You can't continue to bleed the residents and the ratepayers, spoken like a proud person who lives in Papua. I don't know, because that's not a line that a Māori would say, like, oh, we won't champion residents and ratepayers per se. But anyway, I completely forgot what I was going to say. Come on, last question.
And that was question number 17. Pretty mean. It took me a while, but I had to say that. I was very proud. Ka pai, i tēnei wā, we have reached the conclusion of our first section. So we've heard, me te rangatira, your strength, your passion, some of your vision for Tauranga City Council and the future of the Te Awanui Ward. At this stage, we'd like to invite you, candidates, as preference, and whānau in the audience to enjoy tea and biscuit, tea and coffee if you've got a late night. And after a short 10-minute break, we'll be back for wharekura, our second part of the evening. Kia ora tātou. Ora, tēnā mō tātou, nau mai hoki mai ki te tino kaupapa o te pō. It's in the ballot. Welcome back to It's in the Ballot here tonight from the beautiful whare mauao and te wharekura o mauao. Thank you to our candidates for your answers to our question box questions. I tēnei wā ngā o te kaupapa nei. It's part 2 of the show now, which is our hard-hitting questions. Nico was just easy myself into Rano. So in this format,
Hold on.
Hi, kia ora noa. Hello again. Here we are for hard-hitting questions. So in this part of the show, each of our rangatira answer each of our partai. So, te partai toro mō koutou, starting with you, e te whāia. Do you support the Tauranga City Council's long-term plan, 2024 to 2034?
I have read and reviewed the long-term plan, and I'm of the mind that we need to consolidate what the understanding or what the feeling is around the tables. Like I said, the largest task and challenge that this council has is building social cohesion and democracy amongst the faith in democracy from its constituents. So we'll be focusing on that. The long-term plan in and of itself, we again, and like Ashley referred to, it would be about looking towards what parts of that can be activated meaningfully in the annual plan, so the work plan, digging down into that and asking the existing staff and contractors or the staff around what they see that as being. Is this the question here? Was kind of the long-term plan do you think are the most challenging? No.
Yes, it's meant to be. Yeah, the wrong cards are on the desk.
Wrong cards. Story of my life.
I did tonight explain. Sorry for that miscue. The question for you is read on the screen. Which parts of the long-term plan do you think are the most challenging for Māori residents and ratepayers?
The most challenging part of the long-term plan for Māori residents and ratepayers is that primarily would be that they wouldn't have read it, that they wouldn't have engaged with it, and they wouldn't have the mechanisms to meaningfully understand what those long-term plans are. I have, lucky whānau, I asked GTP Chat to summarise it and give me some talking points, so I used the AI but again, yes, leveraging, that's right, that's my principles of my campaign, learn, lead, and leverage. But again, the parts that I did read were around obviously housing, so we are directly impacted in that. And the housing crisis for Māori is felt at a deeper place because again, we belong here, we are from here, not landowners, but owned by the land, and that would be the area that I would focus on. Again, always acknowledging that I can't be the expert, unfortunately, on all things, so I would lean into those who do know to help guide and steward the decisions that need to be made. Kia ora.
Can we hear your answer, please? Ashley?
The long-term plan, well, where to begin? So, balancing urban development with the protection of significant sites and ensuring wahitaka is respected, that's probably a primary concern. But rising house costs disproportionately affect Māori communities, who often face barriers to home ownership and affordable housing options. Pushing us from our Tauranga, I think also that the debt forecast in the LTP is frightening, set to triple from 3 billion in 10 years, already doubling from net 500 million debt in 2020. We need to slow down on some major spending to explore alternative funding models to ensure that we don't leave a massive debt for our rangatahi. This is a fine balance between providing the facilities we need to future-proof our city, while prudently managing debt to ensure the financial viability of our city into the future. Now, just to give you some numbers here, in the long-term plan, our residential rates are set to increase, if you're on an average of 3,000 in 2024 to 6,900 by 2034, which is not sustainable for our future.
Rāne mō tēnā issue. Karanga tiki atu kai.
Kia ora, I suppose it's taka pōtai Māori ka mai nei au. Well, basically, a lot of these, when we have connections with our kaumātua and our pia and Tauranga Mona as well, and from an iwi perspective, when we rolled out long-term plans as well, a lot of our whānau, we have to sit with them alongside of every step of the way when we make long-term plans for our people. These long-term plans is going to be the plan that affects our babies. So we need our people, we need to work with our people a lot more to understand what's in this long-term plan for us. Ko tērā te take, e hohanei ana te Māori, e hohanei ana te Māori nā runga i te whakaaro. Ko tūrua tātou te Māori ki tēnei o ngā mahere rautaki. So working with and alongside our people so they understand kia mui o ngā tahi ai tātou, hea tēnei mahere rautaki, mo te anamata me te āpopo, working with our people all the time so that they understand and that they are clear about the future of this long-term plan. Kia ora.
Kia ora koutou mō Richard Kōrero. Here are themes of weighing development with wāhitapu, different priorities of expansion versus cultural significance, and the value of ensuring that our subsequent generations are fully in the picture with their fingers on the button of what the plans are and what the impacts are too. Kia ora koutou. Next, hard-hitting question. I'm throwing these cards away to find where from yesterday.
Actually, Monday.
We'll hear it on the screen, and then I will read the words. Your next hard-hitting question is...
Press hard-hitting question number 2 on the string deck. On the string deck.
Oh, here we go. Hey, who's first tonight is it in the hot seat? How will you, your next hard-hitting question is, how will you avoid any hapu, iwi or marae, feeling like they have more or less access to you than other mana whenua groups? And for this part, I will start with you, Nicole. Just mixing it up.
Alright, so most likely, he will na tēnei nā te moana mō Te Awanui. It is not something that I just woke up the next day and decided to slap on my campaign thing as well. He mana nui tērā kia whakawhirinaki ana ngā kaumātua ki tērā o te mokopuna kia arahi ngā tangata kei tua. I'm entrenched in Tauranga Moana. I am in amongst iwi hapuri spaces too, and I'm in amongst the sporting space as well. One thing for sure, like I said before, I do not want to be seen as someone that looks down at our people from a podium, but someone that walks with our people, sits with our people, listens with our people. I do not ever want to be that councillor that does not show up and is a teko here on Tauranga City Council. I want to be known as a kaumihira o te rau, he mokopuna tēnei ka mahi a te mahi, he paina mo te iwi, doing the mahi for the betterment of the iwi. Kia ora.
Kia ora tēnā, kia kuiti wā ishi.
Well, to be fair, I mean, for me, I don't whakapapa here, so I would just ensure that they have as much access to me. It's not going to be, no one's my favourite, because Tauranga Marae is my favourite. Sorry guys, Tū Wharentoa is my favourite, Ko Tū Wharentoa, I hope. I've enjoyed working on many of the marae in my more mischievous days when I was involved in some voluntary work that was not so voluntary. Working on different marae around Aotearoa here. Some favourites of mine, you can come and see me afterwards if you'd like to know. I'm not going to offend anyone at the moment, but I've always enjoyed looking at the whakaaro and the tukutuku panels. So going out to visit a lot of marae and see them on their whenua, just to get a good idea about what's going on for them. Too much. I didn't have much to go anyway, so it's all right.
Ka pai hoa, tēnā koe Tū Wharentoa. Yep. Well, man, thinking around as a Boy Scout, your beautiful looking, and calls to mind the incredible generosity of Tū Wharentoa, gifting our good nation the national park if I don't move, the little baby national park, which many of us have enjoyed, so many of national park. Either, sorry.
I'd like to echo the sentiments that I shared before in the first section. So, as someone who collects human voices or people's stories for a living and then compiles them in a report, one voice is never meant to be placed combatively next to another. They are complementary narratives of a wider story. I'd also like to anchor, since it's topical, being Pride Week this week, in the colours of the rainbow. So now my favourite colour is blue, navy blue. I always joke too that blue, I say blue's my favourite colour because it matches my eyes. I don't have blue ones, I have beautiful brown eyes. But blue wouldn't be blue without all the other colours, and so I really want to acknowledge that that's the way that you were folded in a community and how you create a sense of belonging and connection. And Māori naturally do that. So, and just like Ashley did, he demonstrated it tonight. He knows he's not pretty dark, poor him. But he acknowledges that, and so I wouldn't avoid it, I'd embrace it, and I'm not afraid of it. Kia ora.
Kia ora koutou, tēnā koe mō tēnā. I echo that many. Happy Pride, everyone. Yes, for all of our rainbow whānau and our takatapui whānau, hey, all of us, just in the integrity of our whakapapa is above challenge and above reproach. And all of us take our place in the glittering rainbow that is humanity. Kia ora, it's fire. Our next hard-hitting question, which I now know I have to push a button for.
You just streamed it.
What is your position on mana whenua representation on Tauranga City Council? Can we hear from you?
Okay, I'll start this time, no worries. I personally am of the belief that one Māori seat is not enough for representation of mana whenua, because we've got 3 main iwi here and 17 hapu, I believe. Yeah, one Māori seat's not enough for fair iwi and hapu representation. However, what I believe it does is, by having a Māori seat at all, is that it guarantees that there's an access pathway for the voice of mana whenua at the council table. It also guarantees that democratic vehicles like committees can be formed with the right people, who are voices for their communities, and their views and feelings will be taken into consideration. A Māori seat effectively means that there will be an unapologetic Māori voice on our council, fighting for mana whenua, fighting for our tikanga, and holding up te ao Māori. That's all.
Tēnā koe mō tēnā. When I think of mana whenua kei Tauranga Mōna, ngā te ranginui, ngā tirangi, ngā te pūkenga, me waitanga hoki, kia ora. Sorry, your answer please.
I'm just going to acknowledge the abysmal failure of the Westminster model to understand the way that representation occurs for mana whenua on their council system, and just put the locus and the focus right there. So for me personally, so I am the deputy chair of the Ngāti Ranginui peeps. I'm Charlie Rahiri's sidekick is what I call myself. Charlie. And in that space, my professional and informed position on this is mana whenua representation has to be informed by their own processes. So however the iwi select and confirm who their representative is, it would be incumbent upon the council, upon the members around that table, to ensure that they are given input to that voice. So Te Awanui Ward, the seat in and of itself, is representation for the Māori voice, so you are tasked with bringing that voice to the table, but it's really, really important to understand that mana whenua have their own processes, and that we would need, again, to align and be complementary with that process. I'm a stickler for process and following things around too, so once the council knows how representation is mandated by the iwi, then they can work from there and ensure that the best decision is reached. Yeah, cool.
Joe, over to you.
Māori nā huahuha tātou. Kua rotua tātou, e noho tūrua tātou i roto i tātou mōna, ka pīmai pira anō au saere ki e tēhi Māori, we are always second for ngā moana. We have been caught in take taio, take whenua, Port of Tauranga Extension, Care the Air Wharekura, just to name a few. And I'm wondering, how come we're always in these predicaments where our mana whenua are fighting for our lives? We're in the scrap for our lives all the time in Tauranga Moana, and that is a problem. To Aotearoa whānau, Māori we are always on the back foot. Now, my position on this is, obviously, this is very important. This is a war that like I said before, I'm going to scrap and fight for this so that it remains. However, as well, we need to, if elected, or if any of us are elected, we need to be effective to feed back to our whānau, and also as well, so that we are on that decision-making table, so our whānau are not left behind. Our whānau are not left in the dark, and our whānau's perspectives are always taken. Ko te mana taonga, ko te makao, ia te wā, ko Tauranga Moana. Kia ora.
Tēnā koutou mō koutou, kaha mō koutou, mauao, right, acknowledging that this time, the taumaha, the challenge, the heaviness, up and down our good nation is being felt heavily by mana whenua, and acknowledging too the very recent and nation-leading efforts of Māori making a stand with respect to the mana o Te Awanui as just one of these many occasions of this. Moving on to hard-hitting question.
No, that's it. You've done 3 of them.
We've done 3 hard-hitting questions, Tikano. That's as many hits as we can handle. That's as many hits as we
Should
can
we just
handle.
say, Stacey even managed to put her own message across the screen that no one actually noticed except probably for me and the audience watching online, but literally mentioned she's stuck in the same position. If she was in your boat, she's stuck in the same position she was at last election, was that she, like, so where do I put my 1, 2 and 3? Because you're great.
So resounding praise for our Limited from Stacey, our in-studio support down in our good nation's capital, Portneck, Wellington. So that concludes Wahanga Tuarua, our second section of today's session. Twist your tongues on that. And I'd love to invite our Rangatira to now conclude with some closing statements. Would anyone like to go first? No problem.
I'd like to conclude with my absolute happiness and delight with meeting, well, not meeting, I know there's other groups, but I'm really, really pleased and I'm really, really warmed by the calibre of the candidates who have stood for your Te Awanui Ward and have put themselves up here and offered themselves their values, their ideas and their principles to the process. It's not a process that is intrinsically Māori, but it is an important process and it is a process that we can learn to participate in really well, and I want to echo both my colleagues' sentiments around this. Really is about growing civic consciousness in Māori. So Māori mā, my Māori wana, vote, get out, pick the best candidate for you. I said in one of my speeches, I said, I'm not going to ask you to vote for me, not because that's beyond me, but I'm not going to ask you to vote for me because I'm just going to ask you to vote and participate in the process. What you have to do is have to decide who is the better candidate, who has the muscle and who has the tenacity to bring your perspective to the table and the skill set. Because one of the other reasons why that table crashed and burned is beyond not being able to get their collegiality together, they obviously didn't have the smarts to run a city either. I do, and I'm willing to do that for Māori, for all Māori, for the betterment of all of Tauranga. Kia ora.
Maybe I want to talk more into our beautiful to hear. Ashley, your closing statement, please.
After meeting my fellow candidates, I've never been so sure that Te Awanui, regardless of the outcome of this election, is going to be in more than capable hands. I'm looking for your vote still because shameless. I think I've got the Tauranga, the skills and the ability to deliver at the council table. I know I'll work great alongside any team that's prepared to put the best interests of Tauranga first. I'll be a staunch advocate for the community, and it's time our local government started to reflect the voice of the community. This is your voice, and this is our future we're shaping here. One of the 3 of us here today will be your Te Awanui councillor. That is a fact. I'd love for it to be me, but I'm confident it'll be okay if it's not. I'm more than confident. For me, my election journey has been about confronting my past, telling my story and embracing a better future. I truly hope Tauranga can do the same, because we need to more than ever, that we need to be able to move forward. I wanted to end with a little karakia. I know it's a little early because my party haven't had yours yet, but this one is special to me in this space because it means so much towards what we're trying to achieve. So pauhihini, pauranga, pau o te whakaro, pau o te tangata, pau o te aroha, te pau e here nei a tātou, mauri ora ki a tātou. Haumi e, hui e, tai e.
Tēnā koe ora, maybe ora kia koe. Just want to link to your vulnerability and the strength in your sharing in your campaign so far. Some of your media appearances really been role modeling and been inspiring for many of our own watching your campaign. Tēnā koe. At this time, pass it to you, Valerie, for your closing statements.
Ka te akira ka hoki nei au ki te taira. Kei tauranga rā ko mai te rangi. Ko ngā tirangi nui, ko ngā tikukinga, ara, waitaha tapu ka hai. Ko ngā tāpaka oranga paua, mai whare noa ki mai ngā tapu kita noa ki te rewe atu kahia. Tauranga moana, tauranga tangata, kōrau ki tahi e. Ka te akira tā, ka tika kamihi ki ngā kaipakariti o tēnei o ngā kaupapa, mai kore ake ko kautau, mai kore ake ko tātou nei ngā kanohi ora o te Awanui e whanatua nei te ara e whakauti nei ngā pātau ki roto i ngā pauaka me te uru katika ki roto i tēnei kaupapa tēnei timi kia koutou. Ki tō tātou hāpuri o tira tō tātou moana o Tauranga tēnei timi ki te taha kaupapa i a mātou ki toko tōnu tapu e noho ana ki te tūru wera o tēnei pō tēnei kami. Ka huri atu tapuri au wau he te whānau ana i rātou moko puna o tumuana. Kei mua iau behind me is a long line of whānau, of hapu, of iwi, unapologetic, upopo mao o whānau that believe in what I'm doing, and also as well, they're right behind me to pull my ears round to me, cut me down to make sure that I'm on the right track to make the right decisions for our moana. And I'll just go back to ko te mātanua nei o haku tū, ko te apopo ko ana matake, as our babies. Every decision that I'm going to make and everything that I'm going to be putting into this effort, look and cranny, by tooth and nail, it's going to be for tomorrow for our babies. And I need to advocate for that and make sure that our babies inherit a much more beautiful and safer tauranga moana than the one we inherited as well. Engari rā tauranga moana o tira te hunga e whakarongo ana ki runga i te karere rā. Ko te mātāngua o tēnei kia haere koutou ki te pōti. Go and vote. It is that damn important. If we want to hold on to the seat for years and years to come, you must go out and cast your votes. We're not going to be the mockery that has low voter turnout in Tauranga Moana, o tira i Aotearoa whānau. This is a Māori ward that is going to be in power for 4 years. And as much as I wanted to talk my kōrero as well about why I'm so amazing as well, and I know my beautiful friends here are going to have spoken their truth tonight as well. Go out and vote. Do it for your babies and make those more popular decisions for the betterment of tomorrow. Engari rā ka tika kamihi ana ki enei o ngā tikura. Moa koutou mai ki te tū, moa koutou tū pakari tū tēhi te wana, kora karangona. I can hear it and I'm glad that I'm surrounded by two awesome people in Tauranga Moana that live and breathe in our moana and share the same aroha and love we have for our home that is Tauranga Moana. Tēnei kamihi. But in tira, I did get a nod from to close us off. I te karakia I tēnei pō, engari rā kamihi ana ka tātou. Ko te mea nui ko tai mai tau tupu nei tēnei kaupapa, nā runga I tēnā kia rinoi tātou. Ka whakairi au te topu ki whakawātea ai te ara, kia tūru ki whakatahai, kia tūru ki whakatahai, hau e, hui e, tai e. Tēnā koutou ka kua pōmari e.
You're going to close off?
Ka pai, ngā mihi mō tō karakia whakaputunga e te rangati re e whai. Engari, ngā rangati re toru, nutini mō koutou tainga mai, wānui a tātou. Thank you, e rangatira, these candidates for coming tonight to be with us and share your strength, your passion, your vision for the future of Tauranga Moana and the Tauranga City Council, Te Awanui Ward. We have had inspiration, we have had aroha, whanangatanga, in comparison to some of the other wards, some of the other folks. The collegiality, the warmth and the support is and has been and continues to be remarkable and exceptional here. Total what we've heard, the challenge up to our whānau too, 40. Vote. That's the cry that comes in unison from our candidates. The right of representation in our Māori wards has been hard fought, hard won, and the fight continues. And yes, this is our opportunity for one of our rangatira here to make their way with the other 9 homies to help steer the ship and the safe anchorage here in Tauranga Moana. And on that note, won't hear any more from me, but e mihi ana ki a koutou, e mihi ana ki a tātou, and e mihi ana ki te wharekura o mauao. It occurs to me that we have the whakatinana, we have the embodiment of the kiwaha, the saying of the school, kia atu rangatira ki te ao. Stand and go into the world in sovereignty and empowerment. And on that note, pō Māori e ki a tātou.
Because your magic people to me, your magic people to me. Hold your head up high, let your voices fly. I'm proud to be Māori. Because your magic people to me, your magic people to me. Hold your head up high, let your voices fly. I'm proud to be Māori. I'm proud to be Māori. Too funny!
Anyone who's welcome, anyone who wishes to welcome to jump in for a quick photo or a quick
We did the postcode put Stacey. Yes.
Thank you. I'm going to have 4 keys and a cup of tea.
Zion.